Welcome to Auto News Talk. And right now, there's this kind of invisible digital war happening before you even step foot on a car lot.
Oh, absolutely.
Like if a dealer's website takes, 1 second too long to load, they're practically invisible to AI. That is the kind of microscopic margin between success and failure in the automotive industry right now.
Yeah, it's really ruthless out there.
It is. You've got consumers whose wallets are just absolutely squeezed, dealerships having to radically rewire how they sell cars to capture a single click, and commercial fleets are facing this massive technological reckoning on the highway.
Right, it's a profound structural shift.
Yeah.
I mean, every layer of the industry is being forced to adapt simultaneously.
Exactly. So for you listening, whether you are managing a commercial fleet or running a showroom, or maybe you're just trying to buy a decent vehicle without going totally bankrupt, understanding how these invisible gears interlock is critical.
Yeah, you really have to see the whole board.
For sure. So on Auto News Talk, we are pulling back the curtain on the incredible and honestly sometimes cutthroat strategies the industry is using to survive.
And to make sense of this, we need to map out the terrain we're about to walk through.
Let's do it.
Think of this as a single continuous chain of cause and effect. We are going to follow the money. So we'll start right at the source of your wallet to understand the raw mathematics of consumer hesitation.
Which is very real right now.
Oh, very real. Then we'll track how dealerships are forced to respond, and they're transforming not just their physical lots, but deploying AI as this sort of digital bouncer at their front door.
Wow, yeah, a digital bouncer.
Right. And then finally, we'll look at how this exact same technological arms race is permanently altering those massive commercial trucks on our highways. Basically, everything is being forced to operate faster, smarter, and safer.
Okay, well, let's start with the consumer's wallet because no one is searching for a car if the math just doesn't make sense at home.
Right, exactly.
And an analysis from the Finance and Leasing Association, the FLA, really lays bare the mechanics of this affordability crisis. They point out that the market is severely bifurcating.
Bifurcating is the perfect word here. And the FLA report traces it directly back to macroeconomic forces.
Like inflation and all that.
Exactly. They highlight how broader geopolitical tensions are keeping energy prices stubbornly high. And, when energy costs are high, everything costs more to move and produce, which just stokes inflation.
It's a vicious cycle.
It is. And here is the mechanism that actually matters to the car buyer. When inflation is sticky, central banks hesitate to cut interest rates. So borrowing costs stay higher for much longer.
And that directly throttles a household budget.
Exactly.
The FLA notes that lenders are reacting to this by heavily prioritizing responsible underwriting. Like, they're scrutinizing affordability checks because buyers aren't just looking at the sticker price anymore.
No, not at all. They're hypersensitive to the total cost of ownership.
Right. Insurance, fuel, maintenance, and, a much higher monthly interest payment on top of it all.
Precisely. And this leads to a really fascinating statistical divergence in the FLA's data. They tracked a 12-month period and found that consumer new car finance actually grew by 13%.
13%, okay.
Yeah. And that was driven largely by manufacturers finally having a steady supply of vehicles and stepping in with heavy incentives, to subsidize those high interest rates.
Okay, that makes sense.
But over that exact same track period, used car finance volumes dropped by 5%.
Wait, I have to admit, that confuses me a little bit.
How so?
Well, usually when money is tight, don't people flock to the used car lot to save a buck? Why the drop there?
Right. It comes down to who is subsidizing the loan. Automakers can offer subprime interest rates on a brand new car to move inventory off the lot.
Oh, like a special promotional rate?
Exactly. But a used car, you are entirely at the mercy of the standard bank rate. Yeah. So the implication here is that dealers are seeing much softer foot traffic overall. And the middle market buyer, the person who typically buys, say, a 3-year-old used car, they're just financially capped out.
But wait, do we actually know if the split between strong new car finance and a shrinking used car market is like a permanent structural change, or is it just a seasonal blip?
Well, that is the open question.
Yeah.
The FLA data provides a really clear snapshot of current market conditions, but what it doesn't answer is whether this divergence will hold long-term as inflation theoretically cools down.
Right. So if I'm a dealership and my reliable middle market used car buyer is suddenly paralyzed by interest rates, how do I actually keep the lights on?
You have to get incredibly aggressive.
Okay.
And we see a perfect blueprint for this in the strategic moves by the John Clark Motor Group. Coverage of their operations really reveals how regional dealer groups are fundamentally changing what they sell and where they sell it.
Oh, I read about this. The John Clark Group went on this massive acquisition spree, right?
They
They bought out Barnett's Volkswagen and Hocko and Sons. They're essentially building this regional fortress to become a local hero across Scotland.
Right, stretching from Inverness all the way down to the south of Edinburgh.
Yeah, that's huge territory.
That geographic density gives them the scale they need to survive. But the most radical move is really their brand portfolio. To solve the exact affordability crisis the FLA highlighted, John Clark brought in 4 different Chinese automotive brands.
Wow, 4 of them?
Yeah, BYD, Geely, Changan, and MG. They're rolling these out across their territories because these challenger brands offer a price point that actually resonates with that squeezed, payment-sensitive buyer we were just talking about.
But there's a huge catch here, right? I mean, a traditional dealership runs on what they call a 3-legged stool.
Right, the classic model.
You have new car sales, used car sales, and after-sales service.
Exactly.
But if you are flooding your lot with brand new, highly affordable Chinese EVs, 2 of those legs start to crack, don't they?
Absolutely, and the John Clark coverage points out this major vulnerability. These challenger brands are incredibly heavily weighted toward new car sales. You don't have a robust used market for them yet.
Because they're too new.
Right. And because they are EVs with fewer moving parts, the lucrative service department, that after-sales leg of this tool, well, it just isn't going to see the same volume of oil changes and transmission repair.
Right. There's no engine to tune up.
Exactly.
Right.
So they are trading long-term service revenue for immediate, affordable sales volume. They're also leaning into, I think it was 6 different AI projects to try and optimize all this.
Which is a huge operational shift. And as if that isn't enough pressure, the managing director of the group mentioned they are bracing for a massive fight to meet strict government mandates.
Yes, the ZEV mandate.
Right. The requirement is to hit a 33% zero-emission vehicle share.
It's a monumental hurdle. I mean, you have a mandate demanding 1/3 of your sales be electric at the exact same time the FLA is telling us consumers are tapped out and struggling to borrow.
I do wonder, though, are those government mandates actually set in stone? Because what the John Clark coverage doesn't explicitly answer is how ongoing government consultations might water down or, alter those strict EV targets before they truly bite.
Yeah, that regulatory uncertainty is a massive headache for these guys. But what is absolutely certain is that if you are selling vehicles with tighter margins to a hesitant consumer base, you cannot afford to lose a single potential buyer.
Every single digital lead becomes gold at that point.
Precisely.
Which brings us to the digital forecourt. And I don't just mean having a nice-looking website with pretty pictures of cars.
No, it's way past that.
An article detailing the launch of Overfuel's new dealer search intelligence platform explains that the digital front door has fundamentally evolved into an AI bouncer.
That is a great analogy. Overfuel's platform really highlights how a dealership's online visibility and revenue is now fiercely tied to its underlying technical website performance.
Yeah.
The search landscape is no longer just a list of 10 blue links. It is totally dominated by AI search overviews.
Right, those AI-generated summaries that just pop up and answer your question before you even scroll down.
Exactly.
Like if someone types in affordable EV lease near me, the AI is reading local dealer websites and writing a custom answer right there on the spot.
That's it. And to track how dealers are performing in this new environment, Overfuel uses what they call a stateless request architecture.
Okay, pause. Translate that for me. How does a stateless request architecture actually work?
Sure. Think of it like a perfectly anonymous secret shopper. Normally, when you search Google on your phone, it knows your location, your past clicks, your cached cookies.
Great, knows what I want to see.
Exactly. That's personalization bias. Overfuel's architecture bypasses all of that. It queries major U.S. markets as a completely blank slate, providing a raw, untainted snapshot of exactly what the search algorithm decides is the absolute best result.
Got it. It strips away the algorithm's bias.
Right.
And Overfuel uses that raw data for what they call economic impact modeling. They aren't just saying, hey, your SEO is bad. They are calculating the math of visibility.
And that's where it gets wild.
It really is. They map how a specific shift in search rank translates to projected dollar values based on keyword costs and local populations. And the statistics they revealed are terrifying for the average dealer.
Terrifying is an understatement. Overfuel found that only 8% of dealership domains achieved a good mobile page speed score.
8%? Wow.
8%. Nearly 70% fell into the poor tier.
That's incredible. So explain the mechanism there. Um, why does site speed matter so much to the AI specifically?
Because the AI search overview needs to scrape data instantly to write its summary. If your website takes 3 seconds to load, the AI simply skips you.
It just doesn't have the patience.
Exactly. It moves to the competitor whose site loads in half a second. Overfuel points out that top organic placements are increasingly the direct gateway into those AI-generated summaries. Furthermore, a rank number 1 site captures about 22 times the clicks of a rank number 10 site.
22 times.
It's massive.
So technical site speed isn't just a minor IT issue anymore. It is a massive top-line revenue driver. If you are slow, you are entirely invisible to that AI bouncer.
Spot on.
Now, I do have to apply a little skepticism here, just to be fair. Overfuel is clearly pitching their own product in this launch.
Oh, for sure.
The coverage doesn't mention their pricing, and since they are labeling this an industry first, what they don't answer is if any independent third-party analysts have actually verified this economic impact math yet.
And it's crucial to acknowledge that limitation. I mean, we are looking at their internal launch claims. However, the foundational logic holds up.
Definitely.
If you manage to get that customer past the AI bouncer and onto your lot, the back-end operations of your dealership have to be absolutely flawless to protect whatever thin margin you have left.
Which means replacing human inefficiency with something that never sleeps. And that is exactly what is on display in the previews for the upcoming CDK Connect Live event.
Yeah, that event is shaping up to be huge.
Dealerships are leaning heavily into specialized software to uncover hidden revenue.
CDK is essentially previewing a total rewiring of the dealership engine. The focus is on integrating AI directly into the daily, chaotic grind of dealership work.
Like what specifically?
For example, they are showcasing an AI virtual assistant. They call it AIVA, designed specifically for predictive service scheduling and dynamic pricing.
Break down the how on that. How does an AI know I need service before I do?
It analyzes the connected data from the vehicles you've sold. It knows the mileage, the driving habits, and the historical wear patterns of specific models.
Okay.
So AIVA can project that a customer's brakes will likely need replacing in 3 ranks, automatically send them a personalized text with a competitively priced offer, and book the service slot entirely without a human service advisor lifting a finger.
Wow. That eliminates an enormous amount of labor costs.
It really does.
And CDK is also introducing a warranty revenue assistance program. The goal there is to optimize OEM claims.
Which is notoriously difficult.
Yes. Because, historically, doing warranty work for the manufacturer is incredibly complex. Technicians miss billing codes, claims get rejected for formatting errors, and dealers leave just millions of dollars on the table.
Oh, all the time.
So this software acts as an automated auditor to ensure maximum reimbursement.
And they aren't just focusing on passenger cars either. For the commercial side, CDK is debuting something called CDK Unit Scan, which provides real-time asset visibility for tracking heavy truck inventory.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It's fitting that the keynote for this event is Jonathan Brill, described by the Harvard Business Review as the world's leading transformation architect.
The implication here is that technology is moving from being a passive digital filing cabinet to an active, profit-hunting participant in the business.
That sounds like an incredible tech utopia for a dealer principal. But my immediate question is whether these tools can actually survive contact with reality.
Always the big question. Pre-event marketing material is one thing, but what this doesn't answer is how an AI virtual assistant handles a furious customer in a chaotic, real-world service bay. We just don't have the independent validation on real-world performance yet.
Real-world friction is always the ultimate test. But that CDK Uniscan tool you mentioned, the one tracking commercial trucks, it actually provides a really fascinating pivot point.
Oh, how so?
Because this technological arms race isn't confined to dealership software or digital marketing. The commercial trucks themselves are facing a massive technological and safety reckoning.
Absolutely. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, the IHS, is bringing formal safety ratings to commercial vehicles, specifically targeting medium to heavy trucks and cargo vans weighing between 10,000 and 14,000 pounds.
And this is a segment that is largely operated in a regulatory gray area compared to the strict safety standards we demand for passenger cars.
Right.
The IHS analysis points out that even basic safety features, like standard occupant airbags, are not universally equipped across all these commercial configurations.
So they're rolling out a formal testing protocol in stages. Phase 1 tests occupant protection. ensuring the driver survives. Phase 2 will test crash avoidance technologies, specifically automatic emergency braking, or AEB.
Yeah.
And the reason for this is grounded in some very grim statistics.
The human cost is staggering. According to the IIHS, crashes involving these types of medium-heavy trucks and light vans killed 6,535 people in a single-tracked year.
Wow, let that sink in. 6,535 people.
It accounts for roughly 16% of all roadway fatalities.
Yeah.
And crucially, a massive portion of those victims are the occupants of the smaller passenger vehicles they collide with.
Right, the physics are just not in favor of the small car.
Exactly. So the mandate for standard safety suites is becoming incredibly urgent. The IIHS specifically cites Ford's F350 to F600 chassis cabs as current examples that do offer robust standard safety packages.
Things like pre-collision assist and blind spot monitoring that integrates with the trailer.
Right.
But implementing this industry-wide introduces a uniquely complex mechanical problem, which is upfitting.
Oh, the upfitting, yes.
If I buy a standard pickup truck, the sensors are built into the bumper at the factory. It's a closed system. But fleet managers often buy these commercial vehicles as bare chassis cabs. They then bolt on massive custom modifications.
Like a dump truck bed.
Or a cherry picker crane, or an ambulance body.
Exactly. And that is the massive unanswered question embedded in this IIHS initiative.
Yeah.
If a secondary company bolts a massive hydraulic lift onto the back of a truck, what the IIHS doesn't answer yet is how you ensure the factory rear cross-traffic sensors aren't completely blocked.
Right.
Or how does a standard automatic emergency braking system calibrate its stopping distance when the vehicle's weight fluctuates by thousands of pounds depending on what equipment is bolted to it? The physical integration is just a nightmare.
And beyond the physics, it brings us right back to the economics we started with. Safety costs money.
It always does.
Adding LiDAR, radar, and advanced braking computers raises the initial purchase price of the truck. Furthermore, if a sensor embedded in a bumper gets smashed on a rugged construction site, the repair costs and the vehicle downtime skyrocket.
Which means dealerships selling to commercial fleets have an incredibly difficult job ahead. Returning to the FLA's point about tight budgets and expensive borrowing, dealers have to learn how to sell safety not just as a moral good, but as a quantifiable return on investment.
You really have to make the math work for them.
You do. They have to prove to a fleet manager that avoiding the insurance liability of a single catastrophic crash absolutely offsets the higher total cost of ownership.
Okay, we have covered a massive amount of ground here. Let's pull all these threads together.
That's good.
When we look at the raw affordability data from the FLA, the regional survival tactics of the John Clark Group, the digital warfare tracked by Overfuel, the back-end automation from CDK, and the commercial safety push from the IIHS, I see three very distinct themes emerging.
Three themes definitely dominate this landscape. First, technology is functioning as the ultimate lifeline.
Yeah, without a doubt.
We see this vividly with CDK's AI hunting for warranty revenue, Overfuel's push to outsmart the AI search bouncer, and the John Clark Group deploying multiple AI projects to stay afloat.
Yeah.
Basically, if an operation isn't automating to find efficiency, it is drowning.
The second theme is severe market bifurcation. Things are just splitting in two. The FLA data showed us that stark split between strong new car finance supported by incentives and a shrinking used car market.
Right.
And the John Clark strategy highlighted the massive gap between government EV mandates and a consumer base that largely still relies on combustion vehicles.
And the third theme is the squeeze of standards. The bar is being raised across the board, forcing everyone to adapt.
Yeah.
You have the IIHS demanding commercial safety minimums that simply didn't exist before, and you have groups like John Clark having to completely re-engineer their sales models to comply with government ZEV mandates.
But those themes also crash into each other, creating two major industry tensions.
What's the first one?
The first tension is cost versus safety. The IIHS's noble push for advanced commercial safety features and AEB directly collides with the tight borrowing constraints and stretched fleet budgets highlighted by the FLA data.
That's a huge conflict.
Everyone wants safer roads, but financing the tech required to get there is harder than ever.
And the second tension is regulatory ambition versus consumer reality. John Clark's dealership group is gearing up for a fight to meet a strict 33% EV mandate. But that government ambition directly clashes with the FLA's finding that consumers are highly payment sensitive. struggling with the total cost of ownership and backing away from higher-priced loans.
You are being forced to sell premium mandated technology to a consumer base whose wallets are incredibly strained. So for you listening, here is the ultimate practical takeaway. Efficiency is the new currency.
That's it exactly.
Whether it is an overfuel optimized website loading a fraction of a second faster to win a click, a CDK virtual assistant booking a service appointment so a human doesn't have to, or an IIHS mandated truck automatically braking to avoid $1 million liability survival, requires adopting technology that ruthlessly eliminates friction. Friction destroys margin.
Friction is absolutely the enemy. But, it leaves us with a highly provocative thought to mull over.
Oh, what's that?
We have spent this entire journey talking about algorithms summarizing our search results, AI scheduling our maintenance, and software dynamically adjusting our pricing. As all these back-end systems automate the transaction to make it perfectly mathematically efficient, what happens to the traditional, deeply human art of the deal on the showroom floor?
Man, that is the million-dollar question. When the algorithm prices the car, values the trade-in, and approves the loan without a human ever getting involved, will a firm handshake and a personal connection become a premium luxury?
It might.
Or will that human element be the only thing left that actually differentiates one dealership from a perfectly optimized piece of code? You've been listening to Auto News Talk. The landscape of auto retailing, affordability, and AI is shifting under our feet. Keep questioning the algorithms, and we will catch you next time.